Alongside today's February roadmap, there was a blog released by Just Trains all about the Crewe to Preston route, which is upcoming and is still in the roadmap, by the way, in the 0 to 3 months. So we've got fingers crossed that this is coming soon. I wanted to particularly highlight this because this is the main thing on the roadmap that I'm looking forward to right now. And I love these updates we get from Just Trains, telling us all about the history of what is in the route. And in this one, it says, following our previous look at the 47/3, we now begin to take a glimpse at the freight operations that will be carried out by this and the Class 20 locomotives in the upcoming West Coast Mainline Crewe to Preston route. And in this development update, we focus on the merry-go-round coal trains and their constant cycle from pit to power station. The term merry-go-round came about in the late 1960s and early 70s when power stations such as Fiddler's Ferry opened, requiring a high-intensity input of coal to keep the national grid online. Merry-go-round trains utilise circular tracks at power stations such as Fiddler's Ferry, meaning that they never have to stop once they depart the colliery and can, operations willing, complete an entire round trip to the power station without stopping. Hence the term merry-go-round, which is sometimes shortened to MGR. In the West Coast Mainline Crewe to Preston route, these operations are fully covered, with through trains from Healy Mills and the Yorkshire Coalfield entering the route via Newtonley Willows, supplemented by the more operationally intense workings from our featured collieries at Bickershaw and Parkside. Bickershaw Colliery is the first one we'll take a look at. This 4-mile branch leaves the West Coast Main Line with a trailing junction to the south, heading off at Wigan Springs Branch. By 1986, this colliery had seen a downturn with just a single line leading to the loader and a cripple siding connecting, which was used to dump faulty HAA hoppers for collection by trip workings at a later date so that repairs could be enacted. The lack of a run-round loop meant that trains serving Bickershaw were top and tailed, most commonly by pairs of Class 20s in this era, with locomotives added removed at Wigan Springs Branch during the reversal. From Springs Branch, the trains would head south, along the upgoods, crossing under the West Coast Main Line via Banfurlong Fly-Under, before climbing up the other side to join the main line for onward transit to Warrington. Parkside Colliery was in reality more of a spur off the Chat Moss line, just east of Newtonley Willows, connecting in via 2 loops on the approach. A run-round loop was in use at Parkside during this era, meaning that trains could use just a single loco, though again, pairs of Class 20s were commonplace. Upon departure from Parkside, these loaded trains would travel via Earlstown before linking up with the West Coast Main Line at Winwick Junction for the short run into Warrington. These trains, once they arrived in the MSC sidings at Warrington, were faced with an interesting task to reach the line to Fiddler's Ferry Power Station, which goes east to west directly under Warrington Bank Quay Station. While some trains saw the locomotive run round in the MSC sidings, others saw a pilot attached to the rear for onward haulage for around a mile to Latchford sidings, where another reversal took place to access Fiddler's Ferry itself. During the mid-1980s, this pilot was occasionally a Class 08 shunter, which was certainly put to the test, hauling 45 loaded HAA hoppers and 2 dead locomotives on the rear. This is the scene we've chosen to portray in some of our operations, though there are a variety which do double runs round at both MSC sidings and Latchford, thus adding to timetable complexity. From Latchford, it's a quick 4-mile run to Fiddler's Ferry Power Station, where trains can unload without coming to a stop by using slow speed control to deliver their black gold at a controlled speed of half a mile per hour. By utilising the circular route around the power station, these trains can then rejoin the main line and head back to Latchford to do it all again. Screenshots you've been looking at are the screenshots that I've released with this article. I, for one, really appreciate the attention to detail here and the history of why we're actually doing some of these timetable services, which, you know, it was a long time ago. A lot of this has been forgotten. And I do appreciate Just Trains putting out such detailed blogs. The link to this blog is in the description to the video below. So if you go and have a look at that, you'll be able to read all the previous blogs as well and see all the previous screenshots as well, which tells the story of the Crewe to Preston or Preston to Crewe, whichever way around you do it. It tells the story of the route and how it's come to be what it is. So I'm really excited for this. Out of everything, there's a lot of good stuff in the roadmap, but this for me is the thing. So I hope you've enjoyed that little update. Please do go and check it out for yourself. Let me know what you think about this route and what you're expecting. And until then, see you next time.